Greetings to you wherever you are. Here is Zacchaeus and Jesus part 1. There was a man in the Bible whose name was Zacchaeus. Please read the book of Luke, chapter 19, verses 1 to 10. Zacchaeus was a little fellow. He was a rich man. He was a businessman in Jericho. No doubt, he belonged to many societies of his days. For the purpose of this video, let's say the name of his wife was Rebecca. Rebecca is a very fine name. Why is it a very fine name? The reason is that the person that bore that name in the Bible was a very good character. In case God gives you a female child, you can give that name to her, Rebecca. Now, Zacchaeus was an unbeliever, despite the fact that his wife Rebecca was a believer. For your information and according to the word of God, an unbeliever is a sinner. However, it is better for husband and wife to be believers than to be unbelievers. It is also better for husband and wife to be believers than for one of them to be a believer and the other one an unbeliever. It is advisable for believers to marry believers. It is also advisable for unbelievers to marry unbelievers. Birds of the same feather ought to flock together. Now, Rebecca, Zacchaeus' wife, had got familiar with a prophet whose name was Jesus of Nazareth, and who some people claimed to be the Son of God. For your information and according to the word of God, the Son of God is Christ, and Christ is Messiah. Rebecca wanted her husband to meet Jesus. She wanted him to become a believer. That was a very good wife. In fact, every believer spouse is always interested in seeing his or her unbeliever spouse becoming a believer. Now, Rebecca knew that if a man was a prophet, whatever is said in the name of the Lord must come to pass. He also knew that if a man called himself a prophet, or if a man was regarded as a prophet, and what he said did not come to pass, people should not listen to him. She knew that thus says the Lord could not fail. She was fully persuaded that Jesus of Nazareth was the prophet that Moses spoke about in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 15. She was fully persuaded of this when she saw Jesus stand and say things that would happen, and they happened every time. She was also fully persuaded of this when she saw Jesus stand and correctly tell people things that were in their hearts every time. On the contrary, Zacchaeus had become confused about the personality of Jesus of Nazareth. And the reason was because he had never seen him. It is a bad thing to form an opinion about a person's character, behavior, or worth based on available information before meeting him. Don't do that. We are always guilty of doing that today. We hear about a man, and before meeting him, we form an opinion about him by somebody else's opinion. That is not a good attitude. We ought to meet such a man first before forming our opinion about him. Now, one day, Zacchaeus must have had a very bad night. He was not able to sleep all night. I believe you are familiar with that kind of night. You cannot sleep. You cannot rest. Thanks for watching. Till we meet again. The Lord bless you. The Lord bless me. Bye.